What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Love and Rice podcast with your host, Aunt Ma.
I'm your other host, Christina Ma.
And in the last episode, we're talking about the two wars that's going on and how it's been affecting us and the kids and just seeing it on social media. Next, I want to talk about what if the war happened here? What happens if we went to war? Are we ready for it as civilians? You know, this isn't a joke, I really want to know this, and be on the same page with you, Christina, and make sure that we do have plans and that we're ready for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is kind of like, you always make fun of me and say I do too much when I talk about, I want to learn how to fly a plane. I want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I want to learn this and that. This is the exact reason why I do everything. This is why I have so many guns. This is why I have one sniper rifle, one assault rifle, this kind of pistol, that kind of pistol.
Yeah, I think when we were younger and when you're getting all these things, you're slowly getting into it, right? So I didn't really understand it because we never really had to worry about war and things that this drastic. But, as we started, growing our family and having kids and stuff, and now with everything that's been happening, I completely understand. And that's why I even have my own guns and I got my CCW,
So the first time I thought about war was probably 9/11.
Yeah.
And I was 18 at the time.
Wow.
Okay. And so now when you say I was slowly buying guns, it's because I'm slowly making money to afford guns.
Right.
So I've always had the thoughts in my head at 18, I need to prepare for anything that can happen, because you see it everywhere where it's people come and invade, right? They infiltrate our areas and they take people away. They kidnap, right?
Yeah.
And so they're pulling the families away. And I'm like, what am I going to do if my family gets taken away from me? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I want to be ready.
Yeah. I think about that a lot too. So, I feel like there's just so many things that I've been wanting to do, with training and learning self-defense and being comfortable using a weapon, because I'm okay, so, Ant is prepared. He has all these things, right? If anything were to happen, great, he can protect us. But at the same time, there's 4 of us. So I can't just rely on you only to be the protector of the house.
I don't even think we have enough ammo. If it got this drastic, we probably have several hundred rounds, but that's not enough.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get.
Thousand.
I feel like we need to start getting more supplies just to be ready for anything that happens. Because I feel like in the U.S. you kind of just never think that anything would happen, but there are just so many conspiracy theories going on, and there are just all these things with the border opening up too, and all these people that are coming in, and I just saw that there are some immigrants, these young men who are ready at the age to fight. So usually when
what are you talking about? What young men?
Well, so when they open the U.S. borders, right? I think they open it up for people from Israel to come over too. But they're showing footage of the people that they're actually letting through the border. And, usually when you see immigrants that are coming over, if they're in families, they're coming over because they want to make a better life. But when you see footage of all these men who are really young, who are ready to fight, all men coming over the border, you're just it makes you question things. You're why are they here? And what are they here for? So I don't know. I just feel right now we just need to be ready, because at any time our enemies can be here, ready to attack, and we don't even know.
What do you mean they could be here?
They can already be in the U.S. I think from what I saw, don't quote me on that either. There's just so many articles that have been going going up, but they said that they captured maybe, I think, around 14 to 40 people who are trying to come over the border, but who are suspicious. But how many other people are coming in that we didn't catch?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about having a threat that could potentially be affecting us in the U.S.
Are you talking about terrorists, or what are you talking about? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, what?
I don't know. You're just talking about people crossing the border. So I'm just okay, you're just talking about cartel, or
no, but what we're talking about right now are terrorist attacks.
So you're talking about back then when 9/11 happened, and when the planes hit the towers, there's already a bunch of, people, terrorists in the U.S.
Right.
Right? They already were cleared before the attack happened,
Yeah.
and they're just like seated in
Yeah.
our country, right?
Exactly.
And so this is how fast everything happens. Like whether you're in Israel or just, you're in Ukraine, the snap of a finger, you're bombed, right? And that can happen to us here in Vegas, in LA at any moment, right? Anything can happen. Like there's 2 wars going on. We can go in World War III, whatever. Like the chances of it, not likely. But if it does, it happens in a second, a snap of a finger. And do we have your earlier saying like, we need to get supplies, so this entire week, Christina's been texting me and she's like, hey, we need to get some supplies. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like we need to go to the stores and start getting survival kits, medical kits.
Why? Because of the war?
Just anything can happen. And then, anytime something happens in the US, I feel like there's always like rioters and looters and like protesters that kind of just go crazy, right? So it's like you have to protect yourself from all of that too, because people start to go crazy and just they don't think rationally.
All right, so what do we need for our survival kit?
Do you know how to do a tourniquet?
A what?
So if one of us were to get injured and we break something or we have a huge wound, do you know how to stop the wound from bleeding?
You just wrap something and cut off circulation, right?
That's what a tourniquet is for. So when I was trying to look up survival kits,
that's just common sense.
Yeah, but then you have to be able to apply enough pressure because it's like, maybe you might have a belt that we can use, right? But then we would need supplies to sanitize any cuts and wounds, right? So we don't get an infection or lose
we got bottles of, does alcohol work? We got some like whiskeys and we got vodkas. I don't drink vodka. Does that work?
That might work. Like worst case scenario, that would probably be our best bet. Yeah, and it's like having.
What about jumping into a pool of chlorine?
I don't know how that would work, honestly. And if you
Wouldn't
have
chlorine kill it?
I don't know. And if you're bleeding a lot, I feel like jumping into a pool with a bunch of water is just gonna make you bleed even more.
Yeah, but clean it first. So we're talking about like cleaning it, right? So.
But you're putting yourself at risk for something else too. Because even though there's chlorine in there, there's probably bacteria in there too that can go into your wound. But yeah, there's just so many things to think about. And then like having maybe like an emergency tent or emergency food supply, water supplies, like those life straws.
What is emergency food supply?
So they have these...
Is it like the bagged food that you're talking about?
Yeah, because those can last for a really long time.
How long do they last for? Like that's like, you're talking about like the military packs.
Yeah.
How much are they?
I don't remember, but it's pretty reasonable. Pretty reasonable. I forgot how much it was, but
so I saw in our food pantry there's a new box of corned beef hash.
Yeah.
It's like 6 cans of corned beef hash. Mm-hmm. Is that because you're getting ready for that survival kit, or this is before?
No, this was before everything that happened.
Oh, okay.
Or even all of the like having canned tuna, like canned food, like canned tuna lasts for a really long time. It can last for a few years. Like just even having that stuff ready, or like beans.
When you have canned food, so I see in a lot of these like earthquake movies and end of the world movies stuff, where they're like eating these, the canned food stuff, but it's like, one, there's nothing to open the cans with. I'm trying to think of being realistic.
That's why you get a survival kit that has all of those things.
And then 2, how do you cook it if you want to cook it? You know what I mean? Like, do you have the cooking stuff ready?
Right.
The stuff to heat it up with, like your pot pans, things like that. So everyone always has a bag full of the packaged food, right? And then they have like the tools or whatever, like Swiss Army knife type things, right? Multi-tools. And like with a flashlight, I want to get the other bag.
What's
the
other
one
bag?
That's like, okay, I don't know, like once we're a little more settled and comfortable, there's another bag that makes life easier to get back on track, which is, the pots and pans. What else was there? you know what? I don't know.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
think I think that's why people get the food, because it's easier to carry. You don't have to worry about trying to cook it or warm it up or having like
But why can't we?
utensils and pots and
But why
pans.
can't we invent like a little square that looks like a little napkin and is made of metal and you can open it up and now it's a pan?
I mean, that's something you could probably try to invent, you know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, or even having like a portable gas stove, right? Just to have, I mean, I don't know, is it practical enough to have? I think we should set it aside. I feel like we do have one, right?
Yeah, we need like half tanks of gas.
Yeah.
Because the big ones are too big to carry.
Yeah. And then say if we don't have pots and pans, like you can put your canned food on it. Like say if you have like a can of beans or something, you could just warm it up on there directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So it's like, who cares about chemicals at that point, right?
yeah. I mean, you're just trying to survive now.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then even in the survival kits, it's just like having all the tools, right? So they have what are those called? Like the Swiss Army knives, right? And then it has
A multi-tool.
yeah, it's like having that where you can have like a bottle opener or a can opener. Or
That's what we should have on our keychains every day.
yeah, that's true.
Because here's the thing. You can be so prepared and have all this emergency stuff, right? And then all of a sudden your house gets bombed, it's cut in half, and the bomb hit directly on all those things. Okay?
Yeah.
Now what?
Well, so there's an article that I was looking up last night, and it was and it really sucks that I have to like even look this up, but I basically just Googled like, how do you prepare for war as a civilian? And going back to what you're saying, one of the suggestions were to like have a safe room. And that's something I always think about, but I just know it's something that costs a lot of money. But it's like having a basement that you can easily access, or having an attic, like you're saying too. Just having that room where you can hide in case if anything were to happen, and where they wouldn't be able to find you.
I think so what's your definition of safe room? Is it you just hiding and hoping the intruders go away?
I would say yes, but then also with a safe room, it's
Now, I guess it's always best to avoid conflict.
Right.
Because I'm always like, I want to catch them. So I want to go into a room and then have my like rifle ready. And when they come open the door, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
But then it's so loud that now people who are like infiltrating the other homes next door, they're going to come over.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's game over.
yeah, you're putting yourself at risk, and you don't know who's coming through that door.
So this is why I said, so here in Nevada, guys, not only can you buy some pretty cool weapons, but you can also buy silencers for your guns. And I always figured, why in the hell do civilians need silencers on their pistols and their assault rifles? That's ridiculous. That's for the movies. And now I'm thinking about like, damn, that would be perfect for these situations.
And you've been talking about it for a long time too. And I'm like, when are you ever going to need to use a silencer? And now I kind of understand.
Right? So when you're thinking about like, we need a survival kit, well, we also need the silencer. We also
Right.
need these other weapons and all things.
Or it's
you
even
know?
thinking about having to get like a bulletproof vest, just,
I have one.
yeah, but we
So-
don't. And now I have to think about this stuff like for myself. And do they have them for kids?
I have a bulletproof vest from when I used to own the liquor store.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I would wear it on Halloween because, people come in with masks and stuff, and then
Yeah.
I'll be strapped. And so, on certain days I would wear that bulletproof vest, and I still have it. And I think now they've become illegal to buy. So it's going to be hard to find.
But why is it illegal? Because it's only
I
meant for
think from all the
military?
mass shootings that's happened. So, these mass shooters are going to places with bulletproof vests.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a red flag if someone wants to buy a
Yeah, like why does a normal
vest.
person need it?
right.
Right. So for me, I had to tell them, I had to justify that I'm a liquor store owner and things like that.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they had to special order it for me. So, but I can see the difference between the way the men and the women think.
Right.
You're thinking all the necessities that you need to run away,
Right.
right? And to live for the next months.
To survive.
And
you
I'm
know?
thinking like, how do I stop this from happening? As in like, how do I stop people wanting to kidnap us or like just come to us when we're vulnerable? I'm not even thinking about food. I'm just thinking about like safety.
Yeah.
And so if I kind of want to, I want to know this, like, what would you do if they came into our house and they're trying to kidnap us and then I get shot and I'm dead?
Oh my gosh.
Like, what would you do if I died?
I don't know. Like, I don't even want to think about that stuff. Obviously, I would try to do whatever I can. Like, we would have weapons ready and everything. And I don't know what I would do, honestly.
If I were you, I would take the kids and run. Okay.
That's so hard.
If it was me, I would either take the kids and run or find a safe place for them to hide. And I would ramble it up.
I was
like-
thinking about that too, because
I'm that guy that's like, if something were to happen to you or my parents, you know, I would go out there and find the people who did it and just bang, 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 you know.
yeah, but then at the same time, because I was literally just thinking about that last night. I was like, okay, so if anything were to happen to you and it's just me and the kids left, like, how would I get them and try to run away and hide?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, should I just hide the kids and like get these people away from them?
Yeah, for now. And then the next day I'll come back and start hunting them.
Yeah, but if something
you know
happens
what?
to both of us, then they'll be alive and they'll survive, right? But who's gonna take care of them?
Somebody might. I don't know.
Or they might be stuck in there
I
waiting
haven't-
for how long and starve to death because there's
Oh,
no
Leia's
one.
pretty smart. She'll probably leave in like 10 minutes because she's like, where is everybody? No, I don't know. But, you know, we're talking about like in situations of war when enforcement is not here to help us, right? Where police does not matter. And like we have to survive for ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Where police are now civilians, right? So obviously we're talking about like different scenarios of like not war and something were happening to us. We'll let justice do its thing. But when there's no rules, I'm going out.
Yeah. I think one of the more reasonable advice that we can give to people right now is just to...
Yeah, this is just my personal thing. I'm not
Yeah.
giving no advice right now.
Well, I mean,
This is just how I feel. And like if this is what
this
matters
is our
in my
personal
life,
situation.
then I'm going by my principles.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just saying for like most people, like start working out, start getting stronger, build that endurance. Because like you're saying, if I had to pack up and run with the kids and get away from people who are on trucks and who have probably been training with like a bunch of like weight and stuff on them, right? They're ready for that. They've been training for it for years. But for me, like, how am I gonna grab these two kids? I'm probably gonna have to carry them and run.
That's a crazy mentality when you're like, I have to work out to survive in case a war happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good to just do that either way, right? Just so you can be ready for
Right,
anything.
because if you're going through survival and you're not strong enough, you're not going to survive. So working out is very, very important. I
Yeah.
understand that. The other thing is like, you know, once you get through a certain energy, you have the strength. So for example, last week I went to go play basketball with my friends, and I haven't played basketball in like a year, you know, and I'm very weak. I haven't worked out and I suck, right? And I was huffing and puffing, and halfway I was like, guys, I think I need to throw up.
Wow.
And so we played like a total of like 6 games, and I think by like game 4 I was really gassed out. And then there's this guy that was playing really aggressive. He would like charge into me, and I thought I would like pop my shoulder out, and it started getting to a point where like he was really hurting me, and it just didn't make sense. Like he was just playing really reckless. And so now I got so mad, like the fire in me came out, and now I had so much energy and so much strength
It's the adrenaline
that I
kicked
just
in.
kept, you know, I had on defense, I would get him back. I would hit him back. And this guy's double my size.
Yeah.
And he would fall on the floor and stuff like that, to the point where my friend was like, hey, can you guys switch who you're defending? Because you
wow.
can see what's about to happen.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I knocked the guy down. and he was on the floor, and I was just like looking at him, and I walked away. I didn't help him up, and this is a friendly game.
It
But
doesn't
what I'm
sound
trying to
friendly.
say is that I was so dead tired, but the moments someone fucked with me, I had enough energy to do what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like it was like muscle memory,
That's what it is. So that's why they suggest like start working out and strength training, endurance training, because everything is muscle memory. So if you have to do something or run away or defend yourself or attack
Yeah.
someone, it's gonna be muscle memory. It's just gonna happen.
So if I haven't played ball in like 3 years and I haven't worked out in like 3 years, when I needed my strength, I had it.
Yeah, but imagine how much more strength and
I know.
durability
Right now,
that you
I'm
would
all,
have.
right now I'm all sore and tired.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
what I'm
been
saying now.
It's been like 4 days since basketball.
Yeah, so now we have more of a motive now to get stronger. Because you're on your own when you're playing basketball. It was just you and that guy. But if someone is attacking us or someone's invading our house, we
I
have
know.
a whole family
Yeah,
to take
it's-
care of.
Imagine holding Leia Enzo in my arms and I'm like kicking this guy down and running away.
That's
and-
what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
We would both have to hold our kids and have our weapons ready. You know what I mean?
I think instead of using all of your energy, we need to look for things that would make it more convenient for us to run away, such as, not baby carriers, but
Yeah.
child carriers. Or just we just don't sell the strollers that you guys have. Maybe just keep the strollers so the
man.
kids can have that.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we have a wagon.
This is why I like, like electric scooters and things like that.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know.
So I think that's why people find a place where they can hide first until things calm down, and they hope that the people don't find them, and then they leave, and then that's when you have your backup plan, and then you have your bikes or
Yes, we
whatever
also,
to try to run
so
away.
we also need the kids to be ready.
Exactly.
So I've been waiting to get Leia
gosh.
a bicycle
Yeah.
and teach her how to ride a bike. But I'm like, you got to be good. You have to earn it and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, damn, she's got to survive. We need to teach her tomorrow how to ride a bike so we can, instead of us carrying the kids and running away, like, get on your bike now. Let's go.
Yeah, that's crazy. These are all thoughts that have been constantly running in my mind, and I'm like, okay, Leia's laying in our bed, and I'm staring at her in the middle of the night. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I start preparing this girl to defend herself if anything were to happen to us? I'm like, what can I start with? She's too young to use a gun.
Well, she knows jujitsu.
Can she learn? Yeah, she knows jujitsu, but I'm like, okay, what kind of weapon can I give her where she won't end up hurting herself? I'm like, can I teach her to use a knife yet? And all these things. And she's only 5.
I don't think yeah, she can use a knife.
Yeah, but
She
just
can.
even having these thoughts, but I feel like we have to start teaching them now to start defending themselves.
I think a lot of this also
more.
came up was because Leia brings homework home, and her homework says like, if there's a fire, what is the plan for your family? And she has to write out the plan.
Yeah.
What is your parents' phone numbers and address, and like, so they're doing all these emergency things for the kids. You
Yeah,
know?
so if anything
Oh,
happens, they have a way of finding us.
do you remember the other week when the entire nation had an Amber Alert?
Yes.
This was right before the war happened.
It was like days before it happened.
Is that weird?
I mean, I feel like there was a purpose of that happening.
That's very weird, and it's just so convenient that we had this Amber Alert
Yeah.
right before this invasion.
And I think it happened in other countries too. I don't think it was just the US.
That's so weird.
Yep.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and you guys are now motivated to go out there and get survival kits in case anything happens to us in the US, Canada, Australia, where you guys are, anywhere. Just be ready for anything. Get yourself some generators, just whatever you can. Learn some more life skills. And we'll see you on the next episode of Love and Rice Podcast.
Also, just want to add that we're not trying to instill fear, but just preparation for anything that happens.
Yeah, just be ready.
Yep.